Hello everyone, you got Larson Stair here from Gondola, and I'm going to take a few moments to walk you through some of my personal best practices on how I believe the best way to demo a singular feature in any sort of product demonstration. And a lot of times when it comes time to run that product demonstration, we have 2 or 3 kind of power pieces of functionality that we're really excited to walk a prospect through. And really, this is going to be in perfect alignment with what we uncovered in discovery calls. And we want to show this functionality, but specifically articulate it in a way that shows the outcome, shows how we're going to solve their problems. And a little bit less about features or functionality, but trying to keep it more focused on the outcomes that they're going to get and the value that is kind of coincided with that. So let's kind of dig in here a little bit, and I'll show you what some of my best practices are. Alrighty, so here we are. So as we're kind of walking through a singular piece of functionality or a singular feature that we want to be demonstrating, I follow 3 basic principles here. So I have kind of a tee-up slides that help me to prepare my audience for what they're about to see, and then I'll go actually into the live product demonstration and then end it with some more value-based statements. I always like to use these segmenter slides right here because we could say, all right, what we're going to walk through here next is I'm going to show you a way that we can help your organization better understand your customer's pain. And how we're going to do this and what you're going to see here, this is what we're going to walk through. Is I'm going to show you 3 things. I'm going to show you how your reps can easily access in-call notes and templates that are perfectly in alignment with the methodology that you've set in place. That's number 1. Number 2, we're going to give them solutions that they can easily pivot the conversation in real time to a different topic. And number 3 is how can we make sure reps are easily updating Salesforce? So you can see I'm setting expectations for what I'm about to walk through, and it helps to give that kind of audience, okay, this is what I should be looking for. These are the things I should be prepared for, and kind of cues up that conversation. Now, as we transition into the actual live product demonstration, we could say, okay, let's jump into this demo right here. Let's just grab this one. And I'm going to go ahead and link it up to my Salesforce object right here. We can go, okay, we can link it up to the opportunity. And okay, perfect. So right here from this time, as I'm getting prepped up, ready for my discovery calls or whatever the call might be, we can build out templates that are perfectly in alignment with the methodology that your team has kind of set forth. And your reps can pull that in. It can combine, Salesforce information, live questions we want them to be asking, and give them an easy way to adhere to the process that you've set forth and make it really, really simple to run the call and guide them in that mid conversation. Now, the second piece we talked about is a lot of times questions, tangents, objections come up. So how do we deal with that? Well, you can quickly pull in additional templates right here from the call and say, you know what, let's talk a little bit more about maybe they asked about a competitor, right? Let's pull in a battle card here and talk a little bit about one of our competition. Merge that right in. And now I'm kind of moving throughout my conversation without the need to start, stop, address it later. We keep the fluidity behind that conversation there. And the third piece that we said I'd show you is how do we make sure all this information gets back into Salesforce, right? So right here for my call, I can click sync. It updates my activity, logs my notes, updates my fields, and makes my life super, super simple. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, what this is going to do for you. So let's talk about that. These are the key areas that it's going to impact your business. So what you'll get from this is better adherence and enforcement of the process that you've set forth. It'll help to keep your reps fluid in the conversation, addressing any questions or objections that came up. And then, of course, you're going to get better Salesforce data back into those reports that you're looking at. So what this means is more accurate forecasts. So the whole purpose of this is I teed them up for what they're about to see. I showed it to them in a very succinct and clean manner. No pivots, no tangents, no going off the rails. And then I sandwiched it at the end with the outcomes that they can expect. And the last thing I think is really important is pulling up or preparing a really strategic power question at this slide. So tell me, Mr. Prospect, what are the processes that you're trying to get your reps to be following right now? And what would that do for the business? Why are they not doing it right now? And so this is a really great point to queue up that question to make sure you have that balance of conversation back and forth. And then once you've kind of had that dialogue there, you can move right on with the rest of your presentation and then queue up another kind of presentation slide that will pop up next in terms of a segmenter slide. So there you go. So that's some of my best practices about how to demo a singular feature. And of course, you can kind of block these out and add in additional features or functionalities as you're walking through a longer demo. But this is what I'd recommend for demoing a singular feature. Thank you so much for paying attention.